Hi there, welcome to a new episode of The Art of Business English, the podcast where we help people like you get the language skills you need for doing business in English. This week, we're going to take a look at past modals. This is an extension of last week's episode on modals. Now, if you didn't get a chance to see or listen to that episode, then you can click on over at the website, and it's episode 200, I believe. So yeah, just head over to the Art of Business English website or look through your podcast feed or on my YouTube channel, and you can look at modal verbs where I explain that. Now, this is another extension of my grammar day. So let's dive in and turn to past modal verbs. So what are they? Well, they are important to make deductions and to show different levels of certainty about past events. So that's important. It's about the past here. Also, they are used to express criticism or unfulfilled wishes. It sounds technical, but it's not, trust me. Using these verbs correctly will help you to get moving in the right direction to speak English naturally. So the general form for using past modals is the modal plus have plus a past participle verb. So a modal is could or can or may or might plus have plus a past participle verb. So I'm going to show and explain that to you now. So let's start learning how to use them in business contexts. Must have is the first one on my list, and we use must have plus past participle when we feel sure about what happened. So for example, our security system shows that he swiped in with his badge at 8:14 a.m. So he must have been in the office yesterday. So you can see that must have been. So we're certain about something that happened in the past. All right, another one is might have or may have. We can use might have or may have plus a past participle to speculate about the past. For example, we could say, if I had known about the traffic problems, I might have taken a different route to reach the office on time. Or, new entrants may have less access to capital than existing companies. So you can see I'm speculating. If I had known, I might have taken a different route. New entrant into the marketplace may have less access. It may or may not be true, but we are speculating about things in the past. Another past modal is could have. Now, could have means that something was possible in the past, but it did not happen. So let me give you an example. Do you think we could have avoided the economic crisis if we had taken greater precaution? So you can see could have, basically there's an expression in English, I could have done this, I could have done that. And people who say that, they are maybe regretful, or that is, there's would have, could have, and should have. So it's an expression in English that, people always say, I could have done this, or I would have done that, or I should have done this. So these are ways to talk about the past, and a lot of the time it's with regret. So, in business, we should never say, I could have done that, because you should have done that. And I'm going to explain should have done in a second. But before I do that, let's look at can't have or couldn't have. We use can't have and couldn't have plus the past participle when we think it's not possible that something can happen. Can't have has a stronger meaning than couldn't have, i.e. it's almost impossible. Let's look at an example now. For example, you could say, they can't have finished the project yet because they only started working on it this week. So you're pretty certain that it's impossible that they have finished. So you say they can't have. For example, another one you could say is, our new hire is exactly what we needed. We couldn't have asked for a better employee. Okay, so it was almost impossible for you to have found someone better. Let's look now at the next one on my list, which is should have. And I did mention that earlier. Should have means that something did not happen, but we wish it had happened. We use should have to talk about past mistakes or regret. For example, you could say, I'm not a fan of their logo. I think they should have changed it years ago. We can also use shouldn't have. And when we use shouldn't have, we are generally commenting on past errors or to criticize past actions. For example, you could say, they shouldn't have hired the mayor's nephew. He's too young. So that's, some regret. So if I shouldn't have done something, I regret it in the past. Okay, that's it from me, people. A quick overview of past modal verbs and how we use them in English. Now, what I've discovered is that they are very similar in use to Spanish. As you know, I speak Spanish, and they can be translated quite easily too. I've always encouraged my students to start using them, as once you start feeling comfortable using them, your English and the way you can discuss events in the past becomes so much easier and so much more descriptive. So it's really great to start using and adopting past modals. They're not difficult to use. They look complicated because they've got, modal verbs plus you've got participle verbs, and then you've got the verb have. So the structure looks complicated, but really it's not that difficult. As always, if you have further questions or you would like some advice, please leave me a comment on the blog or send me a message on SpeakPipe. And if you would like to learn more grammar, just like this, then why don't you enroll in one of my general English courses? We cover this grammar and so much more. So I'll see you all next week. Take care and bye for now.